So I want to show you something I think I've decided to try, and I think this will be pretty, is to take some of the Distress ink, this is Vintage Photo, and go around the edges. Gosh, it's so pretty. This is the burlap with the cross. And that just really changed the look of that. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Let me bring it up a little bit. See how rugged? That looks good. I'm gonna do it to the heart too. Love, love, love. Okay. So now let's do the necklacing. Let's do the whatever we're gonna do with them to make them wearable. Now for these guys, because they're kind of modern, I'm going to use just a regular pendant on them. I should say a regular bail. These are just some bails I bought ages ago. And I'm just going to put these on here, and I might put that one like that. Nope, I'm going to put it like that. I'm just going to make these just normal, and then they can go on any chain anytime I want to wear them with anything. So I'm going to use some E6000 on these. I'm actually going to try this stuff that came in a kit. It's called Quick Hold Adhesive, and I bought it when I bought a little set that had a little bitty thing of E6000, and then it had this little guy in it. And I'm going to give this one a try and see. It says it's quick hold, so I'm going to turn these over, deciding where I want the bail to go. I want it to go at the top of that one, and then here. So I'll put some into the bail itself. Then I'll just flip it over and center it. Now the thing about these is you want to pick them up and look at them and make sure you're in the center, and then when you lay them down to dry, you want to make sure you don't lay them where the bail is getting lifted up. You want it to lay as flat as it can so that it will dry just like it's supposed to. In other words, don't lay it on something that lifts it up. Make sure you can lay it where it can clear the bottom. The bail can clear it. Even if you have to kind of hang it off your mat is fine. I'm looking again to be sure. You can always do it like this too. You know, pin it on the front or glue it while you're looking at the front, and then come to the back and do the placing. I'll just let those dry, and I'll put the lid back on this. Now I want to work on these guys. Now I have an idea. Okay, I'm going to use some of my cording for these, and possibly some beads, but first I want to put holes in them. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my Big Bite. This is the Crocodile Big Bite, and I did a test a while ago on one, just to make sure that it would go through no problem, and I tested it on one that I hadn't put anything on. So I'm going to slide this up where I want the hole to be, and then I'm going to put it into the corner where the frame is, and that gives me a good spot. Then I'm just going to slowly squeeze gradually through. Mostly, not so much because of the wood, but mostly because of the burlap. I don't want it to break my burlap. And it didn't. I got a perfect cut through there. And now I have this nice big hole, and I think I'm going to use a ribbon to hang this like as a long necklace. So we'll go back to that in a second. Now I'm going to work on these guys, and I want to do this one because I'm excited about the way this one turned out. I'm going to use the smaller hole on this one, and I'm going to put it at the top. Now I'm going to turn this around where I can look at it because I want to know where that hole is going. So I'm going to make it where I can see it, and when you have it at home, you want to do the same thing. You want to make sure you can see where your hole is going. because that's going to be really important. And you might even kind of turn and look at it and make sure it's in the center. And again, slow, even pressure. Perfect hole in there. Great. Now let's do these. Those are great. Those are perfect holes. Again, this is the one I did that says keep calm and craft on. I'm going to save that as an art tile. I just think that's cute, and I think it'll be read better in a I think you'll be able to read it better in like a little shadow box. I'm going to save that for an art tile. Oh, these are so pretty here. Okay, let's get some cording out. I think this cording is really pretty. This is a satin, and I want to put it on the A. I actually want this one for myself. I'm in love with it, to be honest. It's funny because the one I think will be my least favorite is kind of turning out to be my very favorite. So that's funny to me. Now what I'm going to do, I think I want to double this cord and put it through the hole because I want it to be nice and snug. So I'm going to measure, and I want it to land about 24 inches. So I'm going to do 12 inches twice. And then because of the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to add 1.5 inches. Okay, so that takes me to here, and now I'm just going to double that. And cut it. And now then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to do this. I may have to do some fancy footwork. I want to put this through here so I can do like the loop. So let's see what I have to do that. I can get one through no problem. And you know, if I'd have made a bigger hole, if I'd have thought about it, I could have done it that way too. Alright, so I have the pendant and I have a loop. And I'm going to take this loop in my fingers and pull the other two pieces through and make a slip knot like so. Isn't that nice? How that just makes that nice pendenty slip knot. And then I want to look at something. I have these clear beads that have a really big opening. I'm going to put one of those on there and see how that looks. Just feed one through and then the other with it. Isn't that kind of cute? And I think what I may do, just for more cuteness, is hold the bead like this and take one piece and feed it back through again. Like so. But I'm not going to tighten it yet. And then I'm going to take the other side and feed it back through the bead again. You'll see why in a second. This hole is really big in this bead. If you don't have really big bead holes, this won't work. So I'm going to feed them both back through and grab them. And then I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to get those to go on the sides so that when the bead goes into place, it has some of the satin cord on either side as well, just to be pretty. Just like that. And then I'm going to tie a knot in the top to keep it in place. And there you go. There's that first pendant done. Look how pretty it is. I just love it. And I can't wait to wear it. And I'm going to leave this long because I don't know where I want to put it yet. As far as, you know, on my neck. But when I decide, I'll put a clasp on it. Because I really like this necklace. And I'll probably just put like a a toggle clasp or either one of those, the circle and the bar. I think they're called a bar clasp. I'm not sure. But there's that one, and that's how I wanted to do that one. I love it. Love, love, love it. Set that one aside. I'd originally thought about doing ribbon for this one, but I don't think I will like ribbon. I don't think ribbon will feel good on my neck, so I'm going to go with, I have this cord here that is a natural cotton braiding cord. Okay, so I have this white cord, and I'm going to do what I do while I go, but I want this one to hang much lower, like at a, like a long necklace. So I'm going to do, let's see how much I've got here. That's 12, 24, 36, 48. I think I'm going to make it 48 inches per strand, which is a lot, I know, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to make the next one the same length. I'm actually just going to make as many as I can out of that same length, out of this twine that I have. You don't have to use it this much. I'm the only one who wears jewelry in my house. I'm the only one who wants to wear this, and I just want to make it this, I want it to be very meaty. Very substantial, I should say. I'm hoping I can get 4 out of it. That would be awesome. I don't think I can. Now then, using all 4 of these cords at their center, we'll find the center of them. Just get them all lined up good. There we go. Okay, this is the center. Now I'm going to do my darndest to feed these through this big old hole. So far I've gotten 3 through. And now 4. I'm going to do the same thing I did a while ago. I'm going to separate them. So I've separated the loops, and I'm putting my hand through it, and I'm going to grab all 8 of the other strings on the other side and pull them through and make a big, huge, slippy, slippy knot. See how pretty that is? I love that. And then, because you have all of these, you can put all different beads on here instead of just one big one, or you can leave them like they are, and when they separate, you'll have 4 strings going one way and 4 going another. Isn't that pretty? So I have these 4 beads, and what I want to do is do some knotting down here. And I want it to be in two separate places. So I'm going to pick up one and make a knot. Just like so. The biggest thing here is you just don't want your knots in the same spot. So there's one, and then I'm going to pick up like the center one here and make this one a little bit higher. Not a whole lot higher, just a little. Okay, so I have my knots tied on either side. This one's not quite low enough. That's the good thing. Don't pull your knots too tight, and then you can move them. I want it to be just slightly lower, but still slightly higher than the one below it. Okay, now, coming over here where I have my first knot, I'm going to take a bead, feed it through, run it all the way to that knot, and then I'm going to knot it into place. So it's got a little bit of movement and I'm okay with that, but it's knotted so it's not coming off. Now I'm going to do the other one. So now you should have 2 strands with 2 beads and 2 strands with no beads on either side. And I'm going to come down here to the end to about right here and tie another knot. Like so. Okay, and then I want my other knot to match that length, and that's going to be important that they match because this is where the necklace itself will be created. So I need this knot to be here. Again, I can adjust it. Just want to lay it down. Make sure everything's smooth. Okay, so my knots match. Now then, when I get ready to, I can use the strings on this end to put my clasp on. So I don't have to have all of these strings, or I can, or whatever. But now I have this necklace, which I think is so pretty. With the cameo saw square and this. And I may decide to go back in and put some more clear coat here because I think me messing with it kind of dulled it out, and I may do that, but I may not. It looks kind of antique. So there's 2 so far. And now this one, I know what I'm doing with this one. I have this leather cord. This one's going to be simple. The cross just needs this leather cord, I think. I think it'll just be so pretty on it. This one I'm going to wear a little higher at my neck. So I'm going to take off about 20 inches. That should leave me with about 18. When I finish. It's always better to err on the long side anyway, so. Okay, make your ends match, just like so. If you didn't want to put a clasp on the end, you could just do the thing where you tie the 2 knots around the string. I'm sure you can find all kinds of tutorials on YouTube about different closures and things, but I actually have some pendants some closures that I actually want to use on them. So I was having trouble getting those 2 through, so I went ahead and put a bigger hole, and this will still work even though it took some of the top of the cross off. It'll still work, and the reason is because this is going to be over it anyway, and it'll kind of finish it off. Ooh, this leather cord is stiff. I like it. So there's that one, and I want it to be very simple because I don't want it to overshadow the cross at all. So I love that. That would make a cool bookmark even, you know, something like that. But I'm gonna put a closure on it later. All right, let's move on from one of these and let's talk about these guys. What I would do with these, which they're still drying, so I'm not gonna do too much, is I would just use these bails on the back and just place that. And the reason for that is because I think it'll be neater and cleaner. If you don't want to use these bails, you can get the kind that are the circles and put them on the back. Now I have to tell you that as much as I love the idea of these being pendants, I'm almost sold on the fact that these make really cool art tiles. I could almost see myself using this on like a Valentine project or something. So I don't know if I'm going to put necklace charms on these yet. Plus they still need to cure, but I know I have all of these now. Look how cool these are. I love them. So now we have all these pendants made from all of Saw's squares. I love it. I can't wait to get the ovals because they're going to be super fun. Super, super fun. I'll lay these out for you guys to see them all. The heart, I still need to put something on the heart. Here's the cross. Here's our cameo. And here's my initial. So there you go. A lot of different products to use, a lot of different ways to use Saw squares, and they are just this solid wood like this, and they come with the frame, but I've used all of them at this point except for these 2. This is all I've got left. So check out Saw's store for those. They're not expensive. Her link will be below. It's SaCrafters. And she's at Zibbit.com, and I will have it all there for you so you can go get you some. And I would love to see what you guys make, so you can send me pictures too, you know, and just let me see, and we can show all our stuff off. So there you go, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.